So first things first, let's turn in Gordo's quest. Which might be this one.
What does the shadow will?
I must have lived a charmed life, Sirrah, to return to the world as a member of the Forsaken and the Apothecary Society. I couldn't have asked for a more suitable fate. Where's that useless abomination? Either you have what I need, or you'd best get out of here and find it. What's this? Gloomweed? I've no need for gloomweed. That mindless mass of flesh out there is picking daisies and convincing the lady knows how many dupes like you into doing the same. No offense. We'll deal with the gloomweed later. For now, we've got other matters to discuss. Lady Sylvanas has called upon the Royal Apothecary Society. She has challenged us to concoct a new plague, a plague deadlier than any ailment on Azeroth. This new disease will bring our enemies living and dead to ruin. My studies show that the blood of beasts might prove to be the key here. Fill these vials. Don't walk away from me like that.
The shadows beckon.
These vials with dark hound blood so I can test my theory.
Speak quickly.
Executor Zygand asked me to take stock out of our equipment here in Brill. With the Scourge, and worse, lurking in the woods, he doesn't want to see the Death Guards to lack gear they might need. I found that we are in general well stocked, but we do need more weapons to replace those lost in the field. Here is a requisition order of what is needed for the weapon dealer, Gordon Windham, in the Undercity. Take the order to Bat Handler Annette and speak with her about transport to the Undercity.
Remember.
And so here's the Forsaken's quest of, hey, this is how the Flightmaster works to go to the main city nearby.
This had better be good.
The Scarlet Crusade is encroaching on our homeland. The foolish zealots do not realize that the loyal servants of the Dark Lady shall see to their demise. Information we have received from Executor Aaron and Deathnell contain all the details that we need to wipe the human infestation from the lands. According to the information, the Scarlet Crusade has assigned Captain Perrin and a brigade to the ruined tower southwest of Brill. Kill 3 of his zealots and 3 of his missionaries, and while you're there, see if you can dig up any other information about what they are up to. All able-bodied members of the Horde are hereby ordered to report to Grand Executor Mortis at Forsaken High Command in Silver Pine Forest. Now more than ever, your help is needed in routing the enemy infestation of the region and conquering the port of Gilneas. To reach Forsaken High Command, you must travel south through Tirisford Glades and enter Silver Pine Forest. From there, follow the road south until you reach Forsaken High Command. Onward, sister. Destiny calls.
Obviously, we're putting that off for quite some time. That will be once we are done questing here in Tirisfal. Since, as I said, we will be doing the questing in Silver Pine Forest on this character, because, you know, it kind of goes, hand in hand.
What is it?
Yes, I am Brill's local magistrate reporting directly to the Dark Lady. Impress me and you may end up meeting the Banshee Queen herself. Now, on to your first task. I need a fresh report from our Death Guard way station to the east. I must know if more Scourge forces have slipped past the Bulwark and into Tirisfal. Our vigilance on the border to the Plaguelands must be maintained. We can't let the Scourge get a stronger foothold here. Travel south along the road and then east of the fork to the way station. Speak with Death Guard Linnea. She has the information that I need.
Beware the living.
So yeah, even though we defeated the second Lich King in Wrath, the Scourge haven't just gone away. They haven't just stopped being a problem all of a sudden. There's still a problem. So it's not like all of a sudden everything changes in terms of the story here. They're still having to deal with the Scourge.
I'm listening.
You appear to be on official business. An order for supplies. You will want to take this to the Undercity, no doubt, and quickly, for Brill must not be left understocked. One of my bats can take you to the Undercity, blah, 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 blah. This is the quest to go to Undercity.
Dark
Here we go. I'll show off those in a bit. Those obviously have changed because you'll notice the little, things there. Heck, that city doesn't exist anymore in lore as a BFA. So of course this has always been like you fly, into that mountain, into the tunnel to make your way down to the area in the Undercity. So, little tidbit, there's a point during the Death Knight campaign in Legion where you have to sneak through here to get a certain member of the Death Knight Order out of here. Let's just say it's a little harder to do so as an Alliance character than a Horde character because, well, you have the risk of actually aggroing one of the PvP bats in the area. And that can make doing this pretty annoyingly. I know because I've done it both as Horde and Alliance, because I have multiple Death Knights. So, yeah. I just wanted to share that little bit there.
I have exactly what you need.
I keep my weapons in top condition. They are cleaned and ready for use. An order from Brill? Very well. It is an honor to serve those who serve our Dark Lady. I have placed Brill's supplies into this crate. If you have already visited Brill and spoken with their Batmaster, then you may ride a bat back to her. Speak with the Undercity's Batmaster. Blah, 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 blah.
Trust.
So now we have our Fell God. In fact, I'm just going to go ahead and do that. And just bring this down so I can be able to summon any of my pets that I wish. I'll be honest, not too fond of the Wrathguard model. As time has gone on, I've honestly just gotten the glyph where it's the Wrathguard. I think the Wrathguard looks better than the Felguard. He just kind of seems a little too stiff compared to the Wrathguard, who is just kind of more animated in my opinion. But that's just me. So by the way, welcome to Undercity. It's interesting how, this, I pointed out how things are, for this place in BFA, though really that's obviously not necessarily a thing, at this point in time, since this is supposed to be what happens during Cataclysm. But I just wanted to mention that and share that. So, and yeah, you'll notice it's separated interestingly here, like a big circle with the different quarters: War, Magic, Rogues, Apothecarium, and then of course over here is Sylvanas' throne room. I mention it that way just because it just seems so apropos. Alright, blah, 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 blah. Fly me back out to Brill so I can turn this on. But yeah, you can kind of see some of the quarters here. What in the world? Wait, were there Alliance players there just kind of fighting the Abomination there? Because those are like part of the guards in the city for PvP. Huh. Yeah. Huh. Alright. Notice, my Felguard is actually smaller than that one. I'm not entirely sure why that is.
I am forsaken. Beware.
Okay.
Our enemy is abound.
I just realized my bars disappeared. There we go. Weird. But yeah, but I forgot to point this out. So, Brill is basically the first major city that you come to. What? Oh, this is part of that quest, the Worgen Infiltrators. Okay. I may get that quest and actually show it to you, so never mind. You're probably wondering, why is there a max level Tauren Shaman here? Well, the reason max level players might come here is because, as I was trying to say, Brill is one of the main cities in this area for a number of reasons. As a new character, this is one of the first places you can come to where there's an inn and other different merchants and such. And as you can see here, this is where the riding trainer is, as well as the undead horse merchant. You'll see these horses here, these undead horses like that. So these are the, the regular skeletal horses. And then here are the more, better looking ones, like the war horses. So, in fact, this one right here, the purple one, it's like another variation of probably the one that, I myself am really wanting to get this. So yeah, there's Ribbendair's Death Charger compared to these right here. You'll notice some similarities between Ribbendair's Death Charger and this one right here. Hope to get this someday. Don't know how many runs of Stratholme I'm gonna have to do, but we'll see. So let's see, what should we work on right now? We have to go kill some Scarlet Crusade. We gotta go get some Dark Hounds. And we gotta go back to the farm and help get some claws from some of those kind of brainless undead over there. Let's go do that. That way I can also share you something that I experienced in the classic version of this starting zone, as I probably mentioned in the last video. There's a bunch of them down here. Handeguldan. Go, my little imps. See, I can actually have my my Felguard, Leading Strike already, Fellstorm, and Threatening Presence, so he can be able to kind of like take some threat off of me. So. Already have 5, 7. Of course, there's plenty in this little farm area here. Boy, it feels weird not having Drain Life right now. Huh. I wonder if... I don't remember if there's... That looks like one of those bosses. I just cannot remember if there's actually like some kind of quest to deal with him. Let's see if I can actually beat him. Yep. There's Drain Life. Hello.
What do you require?
So it's nice to see that these two are basically still here. So in Classic, this was one of the first places you would go to, especially if you made either an undead warlock or an undead priest or even an undead mage, because you want, if you want to pursue tailoring, you would, come over here to get the trainer. If you want to get some supplies for that, you would also come over here. Though her stuff is not the same. It's just kind of like, hey, do you need some, stuff, some cloth armor pieces? Whereas I believe she, or maybe it was another merchant, would sell the supplies that you would need in order to be able to actually do tailoring, so...
What is it?
Well done. I enjoyed watching you smash those undead into rotting pulp.
Trust no one.
Now, I need to find some Darth Hounds. But then again, I also have to head over here to deal with some of the Scarlet Crusade, so... Why don't we make our way over there? There are some Darth Hounds. What the? You deserve to lose a sign for what you did to us. Now back off, or face the wrath of the Worgen. As far as you know, a Worgen rogue roaming in Tirsfall is a new development. This is something that Executor Zygon would certainly be interested in. We will, of course, discuss this again when we get to our Forsaken character later on in this series. Come, my little imp army. Of course, it's a little limited this early on, because there are some talents that you are not able to get until later. To really make it feel that way. If it wasn't for the fact that I could get a Felguard this early, I would probably switch back to Affliction. Just to be able to constantly keep putting my dots out. And maybe if we get to 20... I mean, I'm sure we will, since we're also going to be doing Silverpine. I'll probably switch back so I can have my Voidwalker, but still be able to just do my dots with Affliction, so... Because Demo, this early on, is not really all that great. Apparently I already got the urgent Scarlet memorandum. Just gotta kill some more missionaries and zealots. Huh! Just dropped a meteor on their heads. Alright. Come on. One more Scarlet missionary. Tons and tons of zealots. There's a missionary. Attack my little imps. There we go. Keep up, my little Felguard. Thushak? Huh. So I believe the trainers are able to give you the opportunity to actually rename your pets. Because it was kind of funny, like, you would be able to finally summon, and then they had kind of a silly sounding name. And you'd be like, what? What kind of a name is that? Yeah, so here are the docking stations for the Zeppelins, which don't really function all that much anymore. They mainly just have portals. Let's go ahead and turn these in.
What now?
Hold on.
Embrace the shadow.
Let's read this. An urgent message to all Scarlet officers and enlistees. The Scourge agent known as Lillian Voss has escaped from her captivity at the Scarlet Palisade. She is to be considered highly dangerous and should be killed on sight. She has already slain 15 of our men. None were left wounded. Do not try to apprehend her. Doing so will likely result in death. She is an enemy to the Crusade and must be crushed immediately. The Crusader who returns her head to the High Priest will be rewarded with 1,000 gold. Refer any questions to your commanding officer. So 2 things. 1, they want them to bring back the head of Lillian to her father. Which just goes to show how far gone her father has distanced himself from his daughter. Which probably also shows how much of a believer in the Scarlet Crusade and cause that he is, which makes him even more dangerous. Secondly, that's 1,000 gold, which these days doesn't sound like anything at all. Back in the day, that was a lot of money.
What is it?
Sounds like we'll have to keep our eyes out for this Voss character. I don't expect any Forsaken to receive a reward if we capture her. I'm just worried that she'll eventually turn against us. Yes, that makes sense. Since the Worgen have come streaming out of Gilneas, I knew it would only be a matter of time before they arrived here in Tirisfal. These Worgen must be dealt with, and quickly. Our first priority is to eliminate any which may have infiltrated Brill. I want you to be on the lookout for any suspicious activity here in Brill, Serana. We know that these Worgen can hide in the shadows, so look for any signs that you can find. Footsteps, kicked up rocks, anything.
Watch your back.
We've got our Drill Stalkers.
Intrigue.
You've done well, Serana, and I thank you for your efforts. So now we get Weak Troll's Blood Elixir, which regens health every 5 seconds for an hour.
That's actually not bad.
I'm to understand that another one of those foolish dwarven mountaineers has just been captured. The Death Guard has him stored here in this building, and they've assigned one of their own to persuade him not to escape. Why don't you go see how the captured mountaineer enjoys this special drink that I made for him? It contains a subtle hint of what the Dark Lady has planned for the rest of Azeroth.
This one. So, do you guys remember what we did not too long ago to that Scarlet Zealot? Yeah. Let's see. Where is he? Where can I find him? I'm trying to remember where exactly he is. Ah, he's right here. This poor mountaineer.
Why, if I had my trusted rifle, you'd be as good as dead, Warlock. Just wait until the steam tank brigade arrives to rescue me. You thirsty? Ah, a drink at last. What matter of ale is this? I'm sure it's no... At this rate, I could have gathered them myself. It's no Rhapsody malt, but I'll take anything to wet the old whistle at this point. I'll raise my brew and hope to be rid of the likes of you. Cheers, you no-good scoundrel, Sarah. Ugh.
That killed him pretty fast. Yeah.
The dead shall serve.
As you're probably already realizing, the Royal Apothecary Society is a widespread organization. We take our plague alchemy seriously. It is our belief that the more agents we have performing experiments, the sooner we will realize our objective. One of our agents performs his work at a small encampment to the north of here. His name is Drod, and he could use an apprentice of your stature.
You see why I have... I'm entirely with those that wish that the Apothecary was no more. Like, seriously. Screw the Apothecary. These guys are evil, and I have no shame in saying that.
I need to target something first.
Like, you saw what he just did, right? I like how other players are jumping in to help me. They're like, oh, a Worgen! Get him! I'm just kind of wandering around. Got my Dreadstalkers. I'm just kind of wandering around just like, I wonder where these Worgen are. You can actually, like, look for little signs to try and, like, spot them, like, you know, like little dirt on the grass or something. Just kind of, like, see them making footsteps, walking around. I mean, if you want, you can just kind of keep wandering around in the marked area until you eventually find them, but there should be, like, little things to try and kind of give away where they are. Come on. Where are you? Trying to see if there's any signs I can spot to try and point out how you can actually look for them. Because it's very hard to actually see any footprints or anything. Ha! One more. Aha! There you are. Alright. Let's turn this in first before we head on up there.
This had better be good.
To think that they've been right under our noses. I'll put my death guards on alert. This will not happen again.
Farewell.
And by the way, if you're wondering about that, that leads into the Plague Lands, which we're not really supposed to go to yet, as that is considered a 35 zone. So that's supposed to be something you come back and do later. But of course, as you guys probably know, Plague Lands have some significance, don't they?
What is it?
Magistrate Severin wants a report? Very well. The defenders of the Bulwark are holding the majority of the Scourge at bay, but some do slip through on occasion. We've seen some sporadic Scourge activity east of the station, with a concentration around the Bania farmstead.
Victory for Sylvanas!
What do you require?
It's so cold now. The plague of undeath crawls through my veins like an icy serpent. The mindless state will be upon me soon, but no doomed destiny will prevent me from serving our Dark Lady. When the call arose, I sewed body bags for the fallen soldiers of Sylvanas' mighty army. Now my hands shake from the chill. If you would bring me 5 duskbat pelts, I could sew myself a blanket. Help me, Serana, so that I can continue to serve the cause.
Embrace the shadow.
I'll do it for you, not Sylvanas. We're at 14. About to hit 15, actually. So. Oops. Sorry, pal. I actually wasn't trying to do that, so... Oh, hey. Now, see, this is another reason I would actually like to switch back to Affliction. For reasons like that. Like, just in case he killed that too quickly, the way the casts work... They take a little while, so... of creatures in this zone that are very affected by the plague. And and as you can probably see, this is why a lot of people absolutely despise the Forsaken, a lot of players and such. I'm not just talking from an in-character, I'm talking about from an out-of-character thing with players. There are some Alliance players I know that absolutely hate the Forsaken, mainly because they see stuff the Apothecary is doing and they're talk about, you know, we will unleash the blight and the plague on the whole of Azeroth for the Dark Lady and all. And they think that is it when it comes to the Forsaken. And so they grow and develop this huge hatred for them because of that. Because, of course, you don't want that to happen, because then you're thinking, oh, man, this may be, you know, the Scourge 2.0. Even though there's a number of reasons why that actually wouldn't be true, but...
And you are...
Here are your pelts. I appreciate your efforts, Serana. May Sylvanas recognize your bravery one day.
Trust
I
no
don't need
one.
her recognition. Alright, 15. Talents. So... Trace Talker's chart. Yeah. I like this, as it gives me more of an instant cast AoE ability. 30 seconds, it does cost 2 shards, but I do like it.
This is basically what it looks like. You can target and then... Nice way to do some AoE damage in a targeted area.
I am forsaken.
You should return to Magistrate Severin with the information that I gave you. He'll want it as soon as possible, so be swift.
Our time will come.
So I think we'll turn this into the Magistrate. And then we'll stop and then move our way up here to this area to help out Garen. And someone else. And you'll get to see that while we're there. So. But yeah, I've actually gone through this starting zone twice in WoW Classic because I made an Undead Warlock and an Undead Shadow Priest. And so I got to experience the questing in this area a couple times. So.
Speak quickly.
It is troubling to hear of the Scourge slipping past the bulwark. Even now they are ceaseless in their assaults. But we will not give in. The Lich King is dead. We will not be taken again. Yeah, about that. He's more so just kind of taking a rest, just napping until Legion. But he's not really that interested in taking you again, so you don't have to worry about that. You don't really interest him. You're not someone that he really has any interest, like that really gets his attention. So you're fine. Alright, we will be heading north to help out Garen when we come back.